Corporate Recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a software engineer intern for full stack. So I do more than just tech resumes, but tech is terrible right now, so that's what most of the resumes that are sent to me are. So for a full stack software engineer that is SDE2, no, that means nothing. Tech has, as a general rule, as a recruiter that has been working in tech for a while, every single software engineer has a very specific hierarchy of what a junior, a senior, and a mid-level engineer is, and the skill level of those, and their view on that is different from every single other software engineer. So you do not want to put the words 2 or 3 or 4 or even junior. You should really only stick to the words software engineer, maybe senior, and lead. Lead does mean something different, as there's actual leadership, but you could in fact be a lead with 2 years of experience compared to a software engineer that is just a software engineer with 6 years of experience. So job titles are confusing sometimes. So what we need for a full stack developer is this stuff. Degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, React, React.js, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, SQL, NoSQL, RESTful API, or REST API, Cloud, CI/CD, Git, one of .NET or Python or Java, and a bonus points for all that stuff. So I am a US-based recruiter, and while I have gotten people jobs in Canada, the UK, EU, obviously the US, Mexico, Africa, and Singapore, or I think it was Singapore, I will fully let everybody know that I judge these as if they are in the US, and sometimes other countries have some slightly different commonalities between them. So my advice does work outside the US, but it doesn't work as well as it does in the US, if that makes sense. So 20 seconds on the clock. That's all the time we have to get this. I don't think we know their ratio, which is how good a resume is, which is how many applications it takes to get it to an interview. So can I find this in 20 seconds? I don't know, because they did not give me a ratio. So, and go. Okay, degree, good. Owned a React.js, okay, good. It displays property research reports. Don't care about that. Daily global management, design and run a core set of RESTful GraphQL. Probably don't care about that. Spring Boots, platform, RESTful API is good, fast APIs, SQL Server and Redis for Excel, and that's it. That's all the time I have. So this, if I was hiring for a full stack developer, I would probably have better qualifications maybe, but this would get rejected. So let me see what this person says. This is not the worst ever, right? I don't want to say like, oh, this is every single recruiter ever will ever reject this and hiring manager. No, it's just most of them will. This is not a 1 in 50, and the goal should be at a minimum 1 in 50. That is how many applications should take to get an interview. But after my advice, most people get a 1 in 7. Not counting internationals, because that really messes with the ratio. So my advice gives you a 1 in 7, but your bare basic average bog standard resume should at least get you 1 in 50. So I have applied to 50 plus jobs, but got no interview calls. Okay, that's not enough of a sample size though. I suspect something was wrong in my resume. It is. And randomly I came across your video on YouTube. Thank you very much. So I've redone my resume and now started to apply. I live in India. So again, I'm judging this as if this was a US role, because I can't really judge it as if it was in another country. So my big issue with this is you don't really tell me your qualification. So there is a confusion of the difference between a qualification and a keyword. And it is kind of the difference between a spider is a bug, but not all bugs are spiders. So a keyword is going to be this, right? This is one of the keywords. This is a skill, whether it is a technical skill such as Java development or a soft skill such as stakeholder management, that the hiring manager for this role wants to have in their employee. That is a keyword. Recruiters don't call it that, but y'all do, so I call it that. So that would be a keyword. The problem is recruiters and hiring managers are not looking for keywords. They are looking for qualifications. And a qualification is keyword plus how you use that keyword, plus the reason or result of you using that keyword, plus where that keyword was used, which is why specifically skill sections and summaries don't work. So that is the difference. And this person actually messed up on the keyword part, not the how and the reason or result. I actually like some of the reason and results. So I'm going to go through this and show why this does not work and why they're having issues. So First off, formatting, really good, but there is one thing you missed. And that is, this is the format to use. This is because they saw my videos. It is in my link below, and it is free. It's on my website. This right here, the location, is critical. Now, if you don't put a citizen in the country, does that mean you're going to get rejected? No, not necessarily, but it's if you are a citizen in the country you're applying to, it can help you out to put it there. But the thing you really do want to put in is the location. Relocating is a giant red flag to a lot of other people in the hiring, because as a baby recruiter, and baby managers do this, I made this mistake when I was a baby recruiter. I found a candidate and they were outside, and this wasn't even like international. This was like I was recruiting for a role in Illinois and they were in, I don't know, like Ohio or something, right? I can't remember. And I would say, oh, great, they're willing to relocate. So we did it. They got the offer. They signed it. And then the day of their relocation, I get a call that says, hey, Lee, your candidate didn't show. And I went, what? But they said they relo. So you call the candidate. And what happens? The candidate said, yeah, I changed my mind. I didn't want to do it. And baby recruiters will have that happen to them maybe once or twice before they realize that getting a candidate that is outside the location, obviously not for a remote role, is a bad idea. Same with managers. They get burned too many times by it. So you always need to put your location if you are applying to a location that is not remote. And if you are moving to that place, you need to say, moving to X by Y date, can move earlier if needed. And you will put it right here under this, right there. That's where you put it. Now, if you say willing to relocate, that's the red flag. You have to show that you're already moving there. So that is one flaw that is pretty major. The other flaw is just that, like, you kind of did not tell me enough of the stuff that I wanted, right? So in this list, I need 75% to move you forward. That's about the average you need. So I found TypeScript, right? So I'm going to remove that because that's good. I found it. I found React, right? That's good. We got React. That's awesome. And then REST APIs. Let's say I'm being charitable and I'm going to count REST as REST APIs, which I might not, honestly, because Java is different than JavaScript. So REST might be different than REST APIs. And Java Spring Boot. Okay, good. We have Java down here. And that's all I really got to. I didn't even get to the CI/CD, right? Which is something. But if you notice, there's still a bunch here that I'm missing. And the big thing is, if you are going for full stack, I need to see in your first sentence, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I want to repeat that. TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. That needs to be there. If you do not have that in the first sentence, you will have a problem. Because I just don't see the rest of it. Cloud is all the way down here, which I didn't even get to. And that's it. That's all I found. Oh, Git is down there too. So yeah, you did not even have the right stuff. In fact, where is JavaScript? Can I even find it in here? I'm doing Control F right now. No, all the way at the bottom. Cool. Doesn't count. CSS, all the way at the bottom. Nope, doesn't count. HTML. Again, all the way at the bottom. No one's going to read that far down. So you need to change this. And you filled your resume with a bunch of stuff that I don't need. Own the core React.js TypeScript. Okay, good. Application that plays proprietary research reports and interactive tables. Good. I don't care that it's 10K rows. That's irrelevant information. Why do I care about that? Used daily by top 20 global asset managers. Okay, I guess that's okay. You don't even need to say that. You can say used daily by global asset managers, but maybe you want to put the top 20. Then here, design and develop the core REST, GraphQL. I don't care about GraphQL. And Java Spring Boot, find, deliver reports, interactive tables. Again, why do I care about the rows? There is one of the biggest problems, and I go over this almost every video because, again, it is one of the biggest problems, is candidates give you too many hot dogs. And what I mean by that is, let's say, hypothetically, you are a chef and a waiter at the same time. And a customer comes in and they say, hello, chef-waiter combo, because that's the only way this metaphor simile works. They say, I want a hamburger. I want a cheeseburger, and I want it with pickles, and that's it. Cheeseburger with pickles, nothing else. So you say, okay, cool. So you go back, you cook their food, and you present them with a hot dog. And the customer say, that's not what I wanted. I wanted a cheeseburger with no pickles. You gave me a hot dog with ketchup. And you will tell them, well, hold on. Both of those are meat wrapped in buns. Both of those have ketchup and mustard and pickles on them. Sometimes hot dogs, and both of them are served at mostly the same places. And that customer says, this is not a hot dog, this is not a hamburger, I'm going to leave. And that is what you did. Because would that customer be right? Yeah, if you were that customer, you'd be upset. You are not looking for a hot dog. You are looking for a hamburger. It doesn't matter if both have buns, both are meat, both have mostly the same condiments, unless you're going with a Chicago dog. It matters that they did not get what they wanted. And this is the problem, is that this stuff is not what they wanted. This is a hamburger. 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 This is useful. This is actually useful. Kubernetes could be it. So I'm keeping that. This is a hamburger. This is nice. This is probably a hamburger. Personalized research discovery, user engagement, mentored for interns, React, Java, good. Get workflows is fine within 4 weeks. Again, this is a hot dog. I want hamburgers, not hot dogs. I think I said the wrong thing. I want hamburgers. These are not hamburgers. Where's the JavaScript, the CSS, the HTML? Where's the Node.js, the Angular, the Next.js, the SQL, the NoSQL, the Cloud, the Git? I think the Git was down here. Okay, so that you did have. But like, this is the problem, is that you filled this stuff with so much junk because you thought it was impressive. And it does not matter that you make the best hot dog in all the tri-state area. It matters what the customer wants. And in this case, the customer is the hiring manager and the recruiter, and they don't care about this stuff. I will challenge you to find a job description that under the qualifications specifically says, we are looking for a software engineer, doesn't matter what kind, that can cut release time from 8 hours to 30 minutes and have our program used daily by the top 20 global asset managers. I will challenge you to find it. Rarely will you find GraphQL. Sometimes you will, but most likely not. Rarely will you find Reddit. Rarely will you find Athena. And the rest of this stuff, again, is not as related. They're looking for this. I don't care how basic and boring JavaScript, CSS, HTML is. You need it. The hiring manager will not move you forward. You would not move this person forward because they do not read like a full stack developer. They read like kind of like a Java developer in the back, but a little bit. And that is critical. So it doesn't matter what you think is the best. It doesn't matter if you are the best hot dog creator in all the world. It matters what they're actually looking for. And my guide on my website shows you how to find that. It's pretty easy. It's a little easier to explain through the guide with the visuals. So that is your big problem, is you filled this stuff with things that they not want. It is filled with hot dogs, and it does not have enough hamburgers, because that is why you're getting rejected. Also, you could probably crunch these sentences down, bro. Like, you could probably fit everything you needed into these 4. This is probably what you can do. Ideally, you want between 3 and 8 bullet points, but you've only been there for 2 years, so I think 4 is fine. And then you could go down to this one where it has other stuff. So please, 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 when you're submitting your resume to anybody, remember to actually look at what an aggregate of they're doing. Look at 15 job descriptions that are good. Not all job descriptions are good. And use those good qualification lists on those jobs, not the responsibilities. Those don't matter. Only the qualifications. Use those qualifications to create a list of these, because those are the actual things we're looking for. And this is the biggest problem, is engineers and everybody else will say, I increase productivity by 35.78%. It's like, cool. I don't care. That's not relevant. In fact, last resume on the previous video, they created a product that saved lives. It saved about 27% more lives than it previously did by, basically protecting people and how it worked and what they did. The problem is that's not relevant. They should be proud of that, but they should not put it on their resume. It doesn't matter if you solved world hunger, or in that engineer's case, they created a product that saved lives, because it did not have the right relevant experience, and it was filled with hot dogs and not hamburgers, and it shouldn't be on the resume, which I hate saying, by the way, but that's the truth of the world, unfortunately. So that's all I can do for this resume. Before we go to the next one, I just want to thank you all for, watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And if you ever need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And I want to thank my members in particular for supporting this channel. You do get access to videos a little bit early. The link to that is in below. But I just want to thank you all again for supporting me. I really do appreciate it. So let's go to the next resume. This is a battery engineer, kind of. There were not a lot of these jobs open, and a lot of them have slightly different stuff. So when you submit to me, please be sure that I myself can find these roles. I don't know this stuff off the top of my head. I have to look it up. Software engineering is pretty easy to look up. Battery engineers, there were a bunch of different types, and I'm not deep enough into that industry to know that these are 100% correct. But the commonalities I found on jobs that I believe you were talking to me about, which is a lot of qualifications, is master's or PhD, batteries, the type of batteries, so like EV or the other types. I've not done a battery engineer. CAD, SolidWorks, AutoCAD, MATLAB, Microsoft Office, those were in almost every single one. The industry of the batteries, so like aerospace or EV or wherever else you put batteries, I guess toys, I don't know. Battery safety standards, leadership, and when I say leadership, I don't mean taking lead of the project, I mean coaching and training. And so usually leadership is not like taking lead of something, it's leading other people. This doesn't mean you need like a manager level, but I would like to see that you coached or assisted or trained other engineers, that kind of stuff. And here's the big one, is make it understandable to somebody that did not graduate high school. A lot of people with PhDs and masters and sometimes bachelors make their resume utterly incomprehensible. And remember, we get 20 seconds. Even the hiring manager may not be able to understand it. I myself has caught stuff that a highly technical hiring manager missed in resumes. So never make your resume super difficult to understand. Honestly, everybody should probably put that last point, but it is especially paramount amongst people that are in PhDs and masters, because like y'all tend to talk, and I say that as somebody who also tends to talk a lot. So 20 seconds, although realistically we'd probably have maybe 40 for this because it's a little rarer, but 20 seconds on the clock. This is a 1 in 50 ratio, which is actually probably worse than it appears because there's just not that many of these jobs open, and they're highly technical, and your competition is also not as much. So this is probably the equivalent of another person's resume of 1 in 100. And go. Okay, mechanical engineer with the doctor. Okay, there's too long, don't care. Can't use anything here. All right. Okay, good. Doctor is it. Good. Design and evaluate prompts with varied parameters. How is that related to batteries? Insured model outputs legal. How is that related to batteries? Audio image. Okay, that's not related to batteries. Scientist. Manage battery research project. Okay, good. Shit, this is stuff I could use through spray drying and furnace heat treatments. Pretty solid. And I'll do a little bit longer because, again, you probably have more time than 20 seconds. Developed and tested L-Lion prototype cells with electrical polymers. Okay, that could actually be good. All right, that is it. So this is why this is a bad resume, is if they actually did not get a ton of people going for this and they dig deeper into your resume, they might actually find what they need. The problem is all of this is junk. Most of this is hot dogs. You need this stuff down here, all right? I'm having too much fun drawing on this. I am not an art major. So here is the big problem with this. This stuff, right here, this big, this stuff, all the way through here. Remember, this is not a qualification. It needs to be down here in the bullet points. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem because none of this counts. All right, so let me read what you wrote. I was laid off in August 2024. Since then, I've been doing part-time gigs for some AI training companies. That's why you had that there. I was so confused. Like, they're going to go through all of this and then get to this and be like, why do you have this? This shouldn't even be here. This should not be on your resume. Leave the gap. The gap is not that big a deal. The gap is bad if it's over 2 years. And even then, you don't want to make up for it like this. This person, in trying to cover up their gap with an AI job, made it worse. So that's what I found a lot of times. The candidates in trying to cover that stuff up make it worse. The gaps are not as big a deal as you think they are. This is a contract and sporadic, but it helps with the bills. I got an offer for a government contractor, but it may be contingent on a reward, which means it can fall through, especially today, yeah. And I can't start until they get the award. I find it hard to get interviews, yeah, because your resume is bad. I've applied close to 1,000 positions in the past year, and I've had a few interviews and calls with a lot of scammers. Please help. Okay, yeah, your big thing is, like, you filled this resume with stuff we did not need. This is junk. Remember, I got 20 seconds, bro. Maybe 35. There's no way they're going to get through all of this. And then they see... Sorry, I'm having too much fun with this. I just like coloring on stuff. I'm not an art major, but I like coloring. So here's the thing, right? If I was looking for a mechanical engineer, I'd probably see this and be like, okay, cool, but I need to see it in the bullet points. Then I'd see this and it'd be like, okay, again, it's great that you have MS Office here, but I need to see it in these bullet points. And then I go down here and I see education. I'm like, okay, there's so much here, but why do I need a business administration? Why do I need this one is actually okay. Engineering management might be good, but you already got a bachelor's in mechanic. You already got a PhD, so you don't need to put your bachelor's. You've got to so how it works with the degrees is if you have a higher ranked degree, and the rankings are bachelor's, and then higher than that is master's, and higher than that is PhD, in the same topic, only put the biggest one. So in this case, they have two mechanical engineerings. One's a PhD, the other is a bachelor's. We don't care about the bachelor's. You have a PhD. Who cares? You do not need to put this on. Business administration, maybe you want to put that on there, but it's probably not. Now, a master's in engineering management can be useful because that is A, in engineering, and B, some of these roles want leadership, so you should probably keep that. So you should really only have these 2 degrees, right? This one and this one. Also, you do not need to, and you should not show the dates you graduated. There is an exception for this, right? If you just graduated in the last 2 to 3 years, put when you graduated. If you graduated prior to that, just put, like I say here, status graduated. That's all you need to say. So yeah, that's a big problem already. Like, there's so many problems. You honestly should probably just delete this and maybe start again. And then we go down here, and again, this is probably your biggest issue above all of this other stuff. Like, you go through all of this, right? You go through all of this, and then you see a freelance AI. Why do I care that you're a freelance AI person? That has nothing to do with battery science. Now, if you use, if AI was popular in battery science, sure, yeah, put that in, but it's not, and you didn't put it in. So nothing here is related. You should just remove the whole thing. Let the gap ride, bro. You gotta let the gap ride. It's people think the gaps are way worse than they are. Then we go down here, and it's actually not terrible, right? Manage battery research projects. Okay, good. Optimizing cathode materials. They may want some of this, but again, I don't know the industry for this, right? Like, are these for planes? Are these for trains? Are these for computers? I don't know. You didn't tell me. I need to know. Lion type cells, improve electrode longevity. Nobody cares about improving electrode longevity. They do care that they know what industry it is. Performed material characterizations. Again, none of that is related, and this is too technical. This actually pretty good. They would like this one. I like this one. This one's a keeper. That's just a lion. Okay, lion cells and again. You don't really tell me, like, where's the CAD? I get that you're highly advanced and you can talk circles about me in any topic, but where's the CAD? Just any type of CAD. Again, doesn't count if it's there. The next one is all the way down there. That doesn't count. Where's the SolidWorks? Not even on your resume. Where's MATLAB? I don't even see it. MATLAB. Nope, nowhere. Where's Excel? Or Microsoft Office? Nope, nowhere. Where is the word batteries? I've seen it a couple times. There it is. You are a battery engineer, and the first time I see batteries is all the way down here. Your first couple of words in your first job should be batteries. They don't even know you're a battery engineer. They're not going to know that cathode implies batteries. So yeah, your problem is this is a bad resume and it should get deleted. That doesn't mean you're bad. It just means your resume's bad. So delete this, restart it, make it understandable to somebody that was not able to graduate high school. Tell me the industry. Tell me how you use CAD and SolidWorks. Show me a little bit of leadership. Show me batteries. You're a battery engineer. I should find batteries in the first 6 words of your first job, which should be, again, right here after your education. Because right now they are looking at this and they're like, I guess this is some weird AI engineer, and chucking it. When, no, you've gotten your PhD in mechanical engineering specializing in batteries. They don't know that, right? Oh, the one thing you should keep, I actually just noticed this. Always keep other languages. They love people that know other languages. So keep this, right? And then you want to put it right here. Just right under this, say fluent in X and Y, that kind of stuff. Extra languages are always good to have. But that's why you're struggling to land any interviews, is they don't even know you're a batteries engineer. They think you're just some random mechanical engineer and they can't read your resume. And is that fair? No, it's not. But again, we had a candidate that literally saved lives, made it 27% more effective. They shouldn't put that on their resume. So make it clear, make it basic, make it boring. Resume is not to show how good you are. Your resume is not how you stand out. You stand out in the interview. You show you meet the basics through the resume. Next resume. This is a resume of a software engineer intern. So what we need for an intern is really simple. In fact, we need this for every intern, unless it's a master's or PhD level. Those are slightly different, but I see bachelor's here. So all we really need is a basic knowledge of the industry. In this case, it will be a basic tech stack. You may want to add CI/CD and Git and maybe cloud in there if you can, but I want a basic knowledge of which is the tech stack. Then I need to see your degree, which, you do have here. That's good. I need to see that you can work well with others and take direction and criticism. And that is critical. And every intern forgets to put work well with others or takes direction and criticism. They put how they lead, which is not what I'm looking for. You are showing me how you can be led. That's what I want to see. So 20 seconds on the clock. This person says they have a good ratio. I don't know if that's actually correct. Because they then say every time since I've been applying, I've gotten ghosted. So please, when you're submitting your ratio to me, because you have a list when you submit it to me of like how good or bad, that tells me a lot. I need that information. The more info you can give me about reviewing your resume, the better, because things are different in different parts of the industry, and I want to be as specific as I can, even though a lot of the broad topics are the same. I am so talky today. Anyway, 20 seconds on the clock. And go. All right, bachelor's good. This can be deleted. Developed a browser-based text that uses a stack. Okay, where's the... Nope, doesn't count. Implements and undoes by reversing store feature. Nothing here, nothing here. Okay, there's nothing here that I can use. Developed a machine learning. Okay, good. Using Skibbity Learn. Okay, good. And Streamlight. Don't care. Trained a model. Don't care. There's nothing here I want. Nothing here I want. Nothing here I want. Again, can't use that. And decline. Yeah. So... I will say this every single time. Remember, a qualification, which we're looking for, has to show how and the reason and result. That's why this doesn't count. This does show where, but it doesn't show how you used it. It doesn't show the reason or result of you using it, so thus it doesn't count. Relevant coursework does not count. There are some exceptions to this if you're like PhD level, or you have a very specific capstone, but you do not need relevant coursework. It can be deleted. Again, your resume should look like this. It should be like this. There's a reason it looks like this. It is boring for a reason. Then we go down to here, and you tell me nothing. Developed a browser-based text editor using what? Was it this? Okay, how? Reason or result? I don't know. You didn't tell me. How did you work well with other people? How did you take direction and criticism? The only thing I find that is relevant is Skibbity Learn and machine learning. And even then, those are really bonuses rather than nice to like necessaries. So where's the Java or the Python or the SQL or the CI/CD or the Docker or Spring microservices or cloud? You may not have cloud. Interns don't always have cloud. Sometimes that's pretty hard to get, so that's understandable if you don't. But where is it? Because down here, you give me this stuff. And guess what? This is the stuff that will get you a job. Right here. This stuff. But it needs to be here. Because if it is not, I cannot use it. Alright? Otherwise, this doesn't count. I made a little smiley guy. I like drawing. I'm sorry. Like C++, C#, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SQL. That's perfect. That's what I need. I don't need... Let me remove my little... stuff here so it's easier to read. Sorry, I'm just having fun drawing on this. This is not relevant. This is not relevant. Git is. So Git you should keep. You don't need Tailwind CSS because you already had CSS. GitHub you might want to put in. Node.js is good. Express isn't. React is. I don't know what GSAP is. So this is the stuff that needs to be here, and you need to show me how you can work together with others, how you can take direction and criticism. That is critical. This is why you're failing. If you have 5 other internships in a row, you don't need to show me how you worked well with others. That is implied based on the number of the internships. But considering you do not have 5 in a row, I need to know. And again, remember, I want to know how you worked with others. I want to see met weekly with the lead software engineer to go over my code and implement feedbacks before the next meeting. Worked in a group of 7 where we would review each other's code on Git or GitHub or GitLab, whatever y'all do, before you on CI/CD development or whatever. I want to see created a full stack app using JavaScript, HTML, CSS, TypeScript, and React to blah, 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 blah. But this, your resume is almost entirely blank. That is why you're having an issue, is there is literally nothing I can find in here besides your degree that is a qualification. This is fine. So this should be deleted. This stuff needs the keywords in it. And this needs to be deleted and moved into these keywords, right? This you can keep, but again, that's not leadership. This is just extracurricular. And this should be in a profile section up at the top. But yeah, this is why you're having an issue, is you submitted a blank page to people. There's nothing here they can use to move you forward. And again, it's not fair, but I will let you in on a dirty little secret, is if hiring worked the way it was supposed to work, recruiters would not have a job, because recruiters step in when normal hiring processes fail. That's like our key part of our job. When companies cannot maintain a good hiring pipeline, whether it's through interviews or attracting talent or keeping them or making sure they get the right ones, that's what recruiters do. Like, it's not just getting people hired, it's fixing the process. And the process doesn't work. It never has. That's why they have recruiters. So, next, resume. This is I don't know, they just said software engineer. You need to tell me what stack you are. Every software engineer is hired in stacks. I know it's upsetting. I know there are language agnostic people out there, but that's just how the hiring works, is if you do not pick a stack, you will get continuously rejected. Your resume should be stack tailored. So, excuse me, I'm reading this first. I don't know the ratio. I'm based in Mumbai. Okay, I have gotten people jobs in Africa before. And I'm pursuing remote positions in the EMEA region. I don't know what that is. So, to clarify, I don't know if the EMEA region is the same. I think it's Eastern, like Saudi Arabia area, I think. I don't know if that's the same as the US in regards to all of this, but you make sure you have a work authorization first, because usually you need a work authorization first before you can work in a place. So, another role I'm interested in is Cloud Solutions Architect. Those are different jobs. You need to have your resume tailored to one job and one job title only. You can have multiple resumes, though. I completed my coursework, but did not take the final exam, so I never formally completed the diploma. Ooh. Is the way I've written my education acceptable? I don't know yet. I haven't gotten to it. Is there a way to better communicate this, or should I leave it out entirely as it was almost 10 years ago? Leave it out. Just leave it out. If it's in, they're assumed you got it, and there's going to be problems once they do background checks. So just leave it out. And thank you for your content. Real informative. Okay. Thank you. I don't know what you are, though. Maybe full stack. All right. Let me figure out if I can find out what you are, at least. You need to pick a stack. All right. And go. Okay. This doesn't matter. We already talked about education. ERP, it's fine. Multi-dollar enterprise, I don't care about that. Using PHP, rarely have I seen that. AWS is good. Just from the oversight. Okay, none of that is related. Design for the full stack. Okay, PHP, MySQL, HTML, Tailwind, CSS, and JavaScript. Automated website with GitHub Actions and PHP faster. Okay, so I think this is full stack based on what they said. Again, I have to judge this as if this was in the U.S. I just don't know the other qualifications outside the U.S. I do know this has, I think, gotten people jobs in Africa, so I should be similar. But, you know, maybe it doesn't work in the EMEA. So, where's the TypeScript? I did see JavaScript, CSS, HTML. Where is the React or React.js? I did not see it. The Node, the Angular, the SQL, I did see, which was good. The RESTful APIs, the Cloud, I did see, which was good. CI/CD, I didn't get. I didn't. .NET or Python or Java, I did not. So you need 75% of these to move forward, and I only found like 30%, right? So that would be an immediate rejection, because that means you are not qualified for the role if you do not put that in. At least in the US, I rarely see anything with PHP, except for front end for some reason. I don't know why. I don't make those the job advertisements. I just know how to read them. So your big problem here is, again, this doesn't show. I don't even see where your Python is. You say your Python. I don't see the Python. Python is there, and all the way down here. Like, look at how far down that is. I have to go all the way down here to get to Python. That does not work. I need to see that earlier. So your big thing is you just don't show me this, right? Like, you are missing some of the qualifications. How you wrote these sentences is not terrible. Like, there are too many hot dogs in this, like Laravel, Tailwind. I just need CSS, not Tailwind. This whole line is irrelevant. Again, I don't care about your percentages. This is good, though. I like this sentence right here. This one is... You get a green mark for this one. This is a good sentence. I don't see anything wrong with it. This... confusing because it's at the same time, so you should not have it. Because why is this at the same time as this one? It makes this one seem like it's not good. Then we go down here. Okay, again, WordPress. This really reads more like a front end. Like, this is my problem with this resume, is it doesn't have enough front end to be considered a front end resume, and it doesn't have enough back end or kind of front end to be considered a full stack. And there's a lot of extraneous stuff. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board. I need you to fix the formatting a little bit. I want you to remove the unnecessary information. And again, you want to remove this sentence entirely right here, because it's confusing with the job. You want your job history to flow easily. And this is weird because this makes it seem like as you were a freelancer, you may have only been working 1 hour a week because you were able to do this one. So at least with 2022 to present, at least there could be the thing that they think it's a full-time role. But right now, you just don't have enough of these. Now, again, maybe that's different in EMEA. Entirely possible, but at least based on the US stuff, there's too much frivolous things. The formatting is bad, and I just don't see enough of what I need to move you forward. Next, resume. Okay, this is another intern. Same qualifications as the last one. Basic knowledge of tech stack, work well with others, and criticism. This is an unknown ratio, so we do not know how good or bad it is, but let's find out. 20 seconds on the clock, and go. Oh, this is so hard to read. I hate your font. Okay, degree. Okay, reduce CI pipeline by 80%. Don't care. Engineering CI tool use AST. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Okay, nothing there is relevant. Nothing there is relevant. Okay, view page. Don't care. Built a new product, storefronts with Vue with Spring Boot. That one's okay, good. I don't care about that one. And one more, do Victoria business using this one's solid. Don't care. All right. Yeah, this is bad. This is a bad resume. I'm targeting intern positions at big tech in Canada, the U.S. as a Canadian UNI student. University. Yeah, this is a bad resume. So first off, please make your resume look like this. This is how you do it. There is a reason I have... there we go. There is a reason I have it to look like this. It is Arial that you want to use. Is Arial ugly? Yes. That is why you want to use it, because it is super, super friendly to people with dyslexia. And guess what? You may have your recruiter have dyslexia, which means if you put in a non-dyslexic friendly font, they will miss stuff easier. And I've also found that when you do stuff for people that are dyslexic, it is easier to read for people that are non-dyslexic. Then this is how it should look. So again, this should be one line. This entire thing should be one line. I don't care about the probability and statistics. This should be one line. This you can actually keep. I think the scholarship is pretty good for an internship, so you should keep that. So this should be 2 lines total, one with the degree, the other with the scholarship, right? And then then we go down here, and the problem is you tell me none of the skills. Like where is Java, right? Okay, maybe you're not a Java developer. Where's Python? Don't see it. Where's C#? Don't see it. Where's .NET? Don't see it. Oh, wait, I think I saw .NET. .NET was... No. That's just your... I don't know what that is, your app. So yeah, it's nowhere in there. Like all the way at the bottom here, you have a little skill section. Guess what? Everything in the skill section that nobody is going to read because it's all the way at the bottom, and again, we cannot use anything in the skill section, is relevant. You have TypeScript, JavaScript, Java, Python, C, HTML, and CSS. I need that. React.js, Next.js, I need that. Vue, I did see and I do need that. React Native, don't care about because you already have the other React. Node.js, I need. Spring Boot, maybe I need. GitHub Actions, I need. And then you have a bunch of other stuff that is not needed. So, you have missed the plot. Remember, your goal is not to show how you're better than everybody. I know that is a common thing that people say. They're wrong. You don't show how good you are through your resume. That is not what they're built for. You show how good you are in the interview with the manager or the hiring team. That you do need to do. But the resume, you need to show that you meet the bare, basic, boring qualifications. And guess what? Java or Python or C#.NET, basically any backend language, would be a basic qualification. JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, that is a basic qualification of a full stack developer. So by them not seeing that on the resume, they are thinking that you are not qualified because you do not know it. It does not matter that it's implied. One of the biggest resume rules I can teach you is that if your resume implies something but does not directly state it, it is implying that it does not have it. And guess what? I get this complaint from accountants. I've had to tell accountants, you need to put Excel in your resume. They're like, everybody knows Excel. No. You need to put Outlook, MS Office, Word, PDF. Because guess what? There are people out there that don't know them. There are people out there that do not know them that may be your boss. And you need to show that you have it. And I don't see that. I don't care that you reduced pipeline time by 80% and you whatever this is irrelevant. No one cares, right? None of this cares. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. There's nothing here. This TypeScript is nice. This has nothing in it that I want. This is actually an okay sentence. Built our new product, storefronts, end-to-end page in Vue with Spring Boot API integrations, translating Figma, unless you're going for front-end. I don't care about Figma. Even then, I probably don't care about Figma. Designs into components with, I don't care about storybook coverage, right? You can just say with coverage or whatever. In fact, you could just say this part. Then here, actually solid, built web development projects. It should be in, and then you put React, Next.js, Tailwind, CSS, MongoDB, for our e-commerce stores. So again, this let me put this right here. It should be built a web development projects using, right? Then it's using this stuff is good. And then it's for, and then you put the e-commerce store. And I don't care how much you generated. Again, stop with the numbers. The only numbers I should see are your phone number, the when you graduated, and your dates of employment. That's it. You should not have numbers on your resume. Numbers are not impact. A percentage increase of 13.12% over 525 milliseconds is not impact. That's nothing. That's gibberish. You need to make sure you state it very basic and boring. And you may be mad at me. You say, okay, Lee, you're just a bad tech recruiter, which I get in the comments a lot. Well, no, I'm actually above average. I'm not the best ever because, like, no, duh. But I am very much above average. Every time I take over a requisition, I fill it faster than other recruiters, which is part of our requirements. I fill it with higher quality candidates, and I have a higher hiring manager basically recommendations. Those are the 3 average recruiter metrics for both internals and agency is volume of hires, time to fill, which is how long it takes the role to be open, and basically like how much did the manager like you. And I score above average on those at almost every job I've had after my first one. So you are looking not at a terrible tech recruiter. You are looking at somebody that is better than the average tech recruiter based on my metrics. And he is telling you this stuff is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. So please, make your resume boring and basic. Your resume should read like a government form. It should be boring. It should be easy to read. And it should clearly impart what you did, how you did it, and the reason and result of you did it with a clear work history. Because if you don't do that, we're not going to find what we need, both the manager and the recruiter, and you're going to have a bad time. That's all I can do for this. Thank you very much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. And thank you very much to my members who get access to this a little bit early. I really do appreciate you. I don't appreciate that airplane, but I really do appreciate you, being members. Thank you for supporting me. And if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And I will see you in the next episode.